Hello everyone, happy Thursday. I am coming to you pre-recorded this week because while you are watching, I am on a field trip with my kids. And they had field trips both Wednesday and Thursday this week. So those are my 2 days for options to come live, and it just didn't work this week. So if you are watching, please say hi, and I will come back and check the comments later. And I'm glad you are here. This week we are going to play with the on-the-go sweet collection, which is very fitting because I am very much on the go this week. Not only do we have the 2 field trip days, but tomorrow my family is heading to Minnesota to visit family for the weekend, and I am really excited about that. But it is very busy, and next week is super on the go too. We get back Monday night, and then Tuesday I have to run a mom and me group at my church all morning, and Wednesday is more field trips. And then Friday I'm substitute teaching in preschool. So, and Thursday next week, before I forget that, I'm going to be doing my new product launch party. So on Tuesday, we have our new annual catalog launching, as well as a whole bunch of new online exclusive products. So super exciting, and I am going to do that in my new product launch group. So I will put a link for that in the description of the video, but next Thursday, I will not be live on my Facebook business page like usual. I am going to go live 4 times in that new product launch party group and share 4 different projects with you. And it'll be the same as usual. If you order, you'll get the projects, but it'll be 4 projects instead using all new products. And there will be prizes and games and other posts in that group throughout the day next Thursday. So make sure you are a part of that so you can come join me there. I will also upload those videos to YouTube. So if you subscribe to me on YouTube, you'll see them there. Or if you are part of my email list, I will email those out as well. So next week is a super busy week, but I hope you will join me. All right, I'm going to flip down the camera and I will share today's sweet collection with you. The on-the-go sweet collection is another online exclusive product. I've been sharing a lot of those this month. Well, I guess we're in a new month now. We're in May. Can you believe it? But I've been sharing a lot of online exclusive products. Now, I'm sure most of you, like me, I love to look at products in a catalog. I like to hold it in my hands. I like to see the catalog spread with all the sample projects. And I do miss that with our products that are only online. But I don't want you to miss out on these products because there are some really great ones. And I think you've probably seen that if you've been watching my videos the past few weeks, because the online exclusive products are just awesome. And we have been getting more and more of them. So don't miss out on those just because they're not in a catalog. I miss them. I miss seeing the spreads in the catalogs of all of these things, but they're still awesome. So the on-the-go suite collection is an entire suite of products. You can order the whole thing, or you can order just parts and pieces of it. This suite is perfect if you love scrapbooking. You don't have to be a scrapbooker to purchase it, but it does lend itself very well to that. So first we have a stamp and die bundle. This stamp in particular I think is great for scrapbooking because we always like to add our dates, right, about when things happened. These sentiments are so good. They are small, so they can fit on cards, but also they're great for scrapbooking. If you have any realtors in your life or you make cards, you can make cards for them. You know, I know a lot of realtors like to welcome people to their new homes with something. This welcome home stamp is really cool. And the keys, who loves the lock and key dies? Those are so cute. We've got a few little tags. It's just a really cute bundle, I think. So that is the bundle. And then we have got some fun embellishments. These are puffy stickers. I don't think we've ever had anything like this before, but you get 2 sheets of them. They're the same. So we're going to be using a few of those today, but how fun are these? And I think they would be super fun for cards or scrapbooks, or like even just like a little mini album remembering a trip that you went on. There is a baker's twine pack. These are always fun because I love baker's twine. So it comes with 3 colors: Strawberry Slush, which is one of our new in colors, Azure Afternoon, and Shy Shamrock. And then there is a designer series paper that is 12 by 12. So I think most of it you can see in the screen. We are going to do some fussy cutting today. Some of it I've done ahead of time, but this paper is perfect if you like to fussy cut, because you can add lots of these little images to your projects. And then on the back side, we've got more like just 1 color patterns that make great backgrounds. So that one is Shy Shamrock. How fun is this page? We've got a bunch of tags in different sizes. Super fun. And then you've got another Shy Shamrock pattern on the back. This one is cute with all those keys. And I love the little tassel keychain. So these you could fussy cut too if you really want to. These might be a little trickier. I don't know if I would fussy cut those. More Shy Shamrock. If you like Shy Shamrock, this paper might be for you. That's a fun one. Okay, check this out. So this is why I say this lends itself well to scrapbooking, because you've even got your pieces right here that you can cut apart for journaling, which I think is so fun. I love this piece right here. I think I'm going to have to use that on a card. And then this strip you can cut out. So when you cut these, you can either cut down the middle first. These are actually really easy. I think this can be part of this piece, or you can use the strips separately. But cut in half or cut the strips and cut them apart real easily with your paper trimmer. Then we've got a Strawberry Slush pattern on the back of that one. This pattern is a lot of fun, don't you think? For our first card, we're fussy cutting a few of these images. And these are a little bit smaller, but they're so much fun. Oh, I love this one. Another Strawberry Slush pattern here. Tiny little tags, which you could also fussy cut, or it's just a fun background piece. And then we've got the Strawberry Slush. Okay, you have to look carefully at this, because these are like, you know, the little markers when you look at maps and stuff, but some of them have hearts in it. How cute is that? I don't know if you can see that because they're so tiny, but I think it's adorable. Okay, so this suite is a lot of fun. So today we're going to make 3 cards. Let me show you. And every week, if you are new to watching me, I offer the card kit every week with your order. So you can shop now through Tuesday, May 6th. And yes, that is the first day of the new catalog. So if you have your eyes on some things from that, you can place your order on Tuesday and get it on the new things. Otherwise, you can shop anytime between now and then. And if you spend more than $50 before tax and shipping, and if you have Stampin Rewards too, you need to spend the $50, okay? So after your discounts and before tax and shipping, spend $50 and I will send you the card kit to make these 3 cards. And that is so much fun, isn't it? So I have a shopping link in the description of the video that will connect you to me as your demonstrator, so that I will make sure to get your order and I will send you the card kit. Usually I put these together on the following Wednesday and send them out. Next week, like I told you, is super, super busy. So there may be a slight delay in sending out this card kit, but I promise I will get it to you as soon as possible. So I think that is all I need to say. Oh, and every week I like to send the cards that I make to people who comment on the video. So while you are watching today, make sure you say hi, let me know what you like. Let me know if you are traveling anyplace fun. So summer is coming up and I don't know, do you have travel plans? Let me know. I'm traveling tomorrow. It's not too exciting. I'm going to visit, well, it is exciting. I'm going to visit family, but it's not a vacation or anything like that. Maybe I'll consider it a vacation. Although, does anyone really take a vacation to Minnesota? I don't know. All right. I know a lot of people who live in Minnesota. So if you live there, would you take a vacation there? I don't know. Probably go someplace else. All right. Our first card could be used as a graduation card. I love this sentiment, "You're going places." And this card was actually inspired by a 3D project that I saw Erica Serwin do. She is like the queen of 3D projects, and I love her style. But sometimes I turn her 3D projects into cards, which is what I did with this one. So we have a Shy Shamrock card base that is 5.5 by 8.5 and folded in half. Then we have a piece of basic black that is 3.25 by 4.25, and a piece of that designer series paper that is 3 by 4. Now, you guys know I love this, cutting my designer series paper to this size, because you can get 12 pieces out of a sheet, 12 by 12 sheet, with no waste. So I love designing cards using that size because it is a very good way to use your paper. Okay, we're going to put that on there. Then we have 2 circles that I've cut with the Stylish Shapes dies. This one is Strawberry Slush, and this one is Basic White. And we're going to layer them together with Stampin' Seal flat. Excuse me. And then add them to our card with some dimensionals. And I'm just going to kind of put that in the center, a little more towards the top here. All right, then I have a strip of Shy Shamrock here that is 1/2 inch by 3 inches. And we are going to emboss our sentiment in white. So I'm going to use my embossing buddy, rub that across so our powder will hopefully only stick to where the ink is. Now I did notice on my stamps, some of the edges were kind of large. So if yours is like that, just pay attention to where the image actually is, or the sentiment. And you want to be careful if you get ink on that edge. Don't push too hard on that edge, or you're going to get a halo when you're stamping. So like mine, I have a little more room at the top, so I'm going to make sure that I am down at the bottom here. Push on those words. All right, that looks pretty good. My first one was a little messy. I don't know. We'll see how this one turns out. I am using white embossing powder. I love embossing white on our bright and dark colors because it just really pops. Oops. See if I can get more on places here. See if I can not get embossing powder all over my desk. All right, and then we can use our little brush from our embossing kit to brush off the extra. I think I have some on my fingers, so that's not helping, right? We'll use our tweezers. Okay, hold tight for about 30 seconds while we set this with the heat tool. All right. I was saying this in my video a few weeks ago when I heat emboss, but I don't know. I think it's the light in this room. I have trouble telling if it is all the way embossed, and I think there is a few areas that need a little more, so hang on. Okay, hopefully that is good. Let's bring our card back in here, and I'm just going to cut slight angles on the ends here. And then we're going to fussy cut a few things that we want to tuck under there. So I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals, just a few of them, so we can tuck those things underneath. course, the day I don't bring my water in here, I get a tickle in my throat. All right. I have a couple of images from the Designer Series paper that I am going to fussy cut. Now on the second card I did fussy cutting too, but I did that ahead of time so that you don't have to watch me fussy cut everything. If you want, you can use a pencil to draw an outline. Sometimes that helps if you have trouble fussy cutting. Or if you don't want to fussy cut, you can find another stamp that will fit in there and use that instead of fussy cutting. But I don't mind a little bit now and then. And the paper snips that we sell, actually, I feel like make fussy cutting a lot easier. They are super sharp. They're small, so they fit in these small spaces. And before I got these, I did not enjoy fussy cutting at all, but I do feel like the paper snips are perfect for the job. So if you don't have a pair yet, add 1 or 3 to your next order. I am only joking about that because I have 3 pairs. And that's because I lost one for a very long time, and finally I was like, I'm just going to buy another one. Then of course I found the first one. And then a couple years ago, Stampin' Up sent us a pair with this scissors charm for one of our leaders events. And so then I ended up with a 3rd pair. But that's okay because usually, well, this charm, since it's a little bit bigger and it's bright green, makes this pair easier to find. And I like having 3 pairs because then usually I can find at least one of them. Okay, we are going to use our liquid glue to attach these. Just because they're kind of narrow and small here. So depending where you put that one-dimensional, you may have to lift that up just a bit to tuck this under and get it in the right spot. And then we've got our little globe. Now on Erica Serwin's 3D project, she also used the For the Books stamp set, and she stamped some books behind the globe. She didn't have this piece here. I didn't have that stamp set, and I also just wanted to stick with this. So I just used 2 images from the paper. So that is an option for you if you want. Okay, then I added a little gold star from the puffy stickers. And I think I'm going to put it on this side this time. I gave myself 2 strawberry slush hearts here because I didn't want to be without one if I lost one. They're so tiny. But the dies, the tags to go, is that what this is called? Yeah, tags to go dies. There's a die in here that cuts 3 of the little hearts. So 3 at a time, which is awesome. Okay, then we are going to finish off with some of our strawberry slush twine, and I'm just going to tie a bow with that. And then we will add our bow with a mini glue dot. Now, I will say the first bow I tied with this twine, it was just so like crooked. You know how this twine like twists up on itself? I just could not get it to untwist. So I'm like, I will just tie a new one, and that's what I did. I threw that first one away. Sometimes the twine is a little bit finicky like that, but you can use the glue dot to kind of help put it where you want. And there we go. There is our first card. So I'm going to tuck that one in here to send to one of you who comments. So make sure you let me know what you think of that first card. And let's move on to our second one. So this one was inspired by Bree Renwick. She is an artisan design team member. And she used, we have that background stamp that is like an image of the world, all the continents, and she used that for her background. And then, oh, I think, you know what, I forgot. It's because I had saved it on Instagram, and every time my phone turned off, I had to go back into my saved items, and she had some designer series paper like going at an angle, which was cool, and I totally forgot to add that to mine. So I guess I was inspired by her, but I didn't completely do the same card as her. Well, anyway, she stamped that world stamp in the background, which I thought was really, really cool, but I don't have that one either. So for this one, we have an Azure Afternoon card base, 5.5 by 8.5, and fold in half. And then this piece is 3 3/4 by 5. And since I didn't have that background stamp, I decided to emboss my piece with the mini corrugated embossing folder. It is my favorite embossing folder right now. I love it. All right, and then I have fussy cut some images from the designer series paper. So I did a tag, and you can see it's different than this one. If you get the card kit this week, you may get a different tag because there's only so many, you know, of the same ones. But it'll be about this size, and you can use any of them. And then I cut out a backpack and a suitcase. And then this is one of the dies in the set. We're actually just going to cut off this bottom part here, because I'm just going to stamp my sentiment in the top part. And I love this sentiment. Life's detours are better with you. So we are using Memento black ink. Any black ink would work, or you could use Azure Afternoon. And this one too, I had more of an edge. So I don't know if it's just my stamp set or if the stamp set is like that. But I'm going to be careful to not stamp too hard and get that halo around the edge. And you also notice mine is more towards the bottom. So, I mean, any of our red rubber stamp sets, you just have to look before you stamp or test it first on a scrap paper just to kind of see how it stamps, because they are not completely see-through like the photopolymer. All right, that's a little crooked, but we're going to go with it because it was also more off to the side and I forgot to account for that, but that's okay. Okay, and then for this tag, so this one die cuts a hole. If you have a small hole punch, you can punch it in this tag. I do have a small hole punch, but I'm sure none of you who know me are surprised that I couldn't find my little hole punch. So I came up with a backup plan. Let's see if I brought my take your pick tool in here. I thought I carried it in here, but now I am not seeing it. So we might just go with plan number 3. Okay, so I used my take your pick tool and just poked through on my piercing mat, but I do not see my take your pick tool in here. So I'm going to use my snips instead. They'll work kind of the same. And I just poked a hole in that tag, but you could use a hole punch too. Just make sure you're on a foam mat if you are piercing through so you don't poke a hole in something you don't want to. All right, and then we're going to get a piece of our Azure Afternoon twine. And we're going to loop this through both of our holes. And depending on how big of a hole you made with your scissors or whatever you made your hole with, you may have to poke it again. See if I can get this through. I had no trouble when I used the piercing tool, which is funny because I think this is a bigger hole, but does not want to go through this time. There we go. Can see it. All right. I'll loop that through and then we'll trim it. Okay. And I did attach this just with one dimensional, just so it kind of stays where you want it to stay. Like that. Okay, then we're going to attach our tag with dimensionals as well. Getting to the end of my dimensionals here. Oop, I have one more. Okay. So I'm going to put my tag at a little bit of an angle here. And we can trim the ends of our twine. And then for our suitcase, it's going to hang off the edge a little. So I'm going to put
a little bit of dimension on that side. And then we'll put some Stampin' Seal on this side, or you could use glue. Maybe we'll put some Stampin' Seal. There we go. Like that. And then the backpack can just be flat because it's going to be stuck mostly to the tag. All right, and then we're going to finish off with a few of our little markers here. So I just picked the bright colors because the blue and the green kind of blended into that Azure Afternoon. So I used the 3 bright colors so they would pop off of there. So there is our second card. So we will tuck that one away for somebody else and move on to our third card. This one was inspired by Heidi Collins. She is another demonstrator that I follow. And I thought her card was really cute, so I mostly copied it. All right, this one has a thick white card base, 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half. And then we're using that cute piece of the Designer Series paper with all of the keys. So you could give this one to somebody who just bought a new house or is moving into a new house. So this Designer Series paper is 4.25 by 5.5, the same size as our card front. And then I've cut 2 more pieces of the Designer Series paper, and these measure 2.25 by 4 inches. And so the Shy Shamrock one, we're going to put on a Shy Shamrock cardstock base, and that piece is 2 3/8 by 4 1/8, so just 1/8 of an inch bigger, just so it pops a little bit off of our card. This one's going to go together really fast. It's a simple design, and you get to see lots of the paper, which is fun. All right, so the Shy Shamrock piece, we're going to kind of put, almost in the center, up at the top. I guess I have it a little towards the right. And then our Strawberry Slush piece will go off to the left. And then I've cut out the 2 keys here. I just used some of our brushed gold paper. It comes in a pack with gold and silver, and it has a little bit of texture to it. You could use regular gold foil or silver foil for the keys too. I just used the brush because that is what I had closest to me. And then this tag I also cut out with the Tags to Go dies out of Shy Shamrock. And we are going to do some more embossing because I loved how that white looked. Whoops. On the Shy Shamrock, and that is what Heidi did on her card too, and I thought it was cute. All right, so same for this one. I have extra space at the top, so I just want to make sure that I am down more than up, I guess. There we go. Get out our white embossing powder, and it looks like I got a little bit of a halo right there, so I'm going to put my thumb there when I put the embossing powder on and try not to get embossing powder on that halo. I think I just flipped it all over the desk though. Embossing, geez, embossing is a messy business. All right, I had adhesive stuck to my fingers, so that was great. And I did get embossing powder all over there. My goodness. I'm making a big mess. All right. Let's see here. Well, I need to brush my fingers off first. And then we do not want that adhesive on there. That's for sure. All right. I think I did a good job of keeping the embossing powder off the halo. It got everywhere else, but that's all right. Okay, we're going to use our heat tool again, so hang tight. All right. Disaster averted. Kind of, right? Okay, so we are going to add this piece. I have embossing powder all over. Can you see that? We're going to use a few dimensionals, and let's see. I need one for the back of my key too. All right, that should be good. All right, we're going to put this kind of across the center, and then I'm going to use my Shy Shamrock twine. And I'm going to thread that through here. And then I'm going to put this key on first because I want to see the bigger hole on this one. And if I put that on the bottom, it gets kind of covered up. And so for this one, I want it to stick a little bit off to the side. And I'm going to stick just a whole dimensional does fit on there because that is what I did on my sample card. But it can go off to the side here. And then we will put this one through. And when you tie the bow, this one kind of stays in place. But if you want to put a glue dot or a little bit of glue on the back of that one to hold it to the other key, you can. But when you tie the bow, it stays pretty well. All right, give that a little trim. And there we go. I didn't like any of the stickers on this one, so I didn't add any, but you sure can if you want to. All right, I'm going to tuck that away for someone, and let's bring our 3 cards back in. All right, so remember you have now through Tuesday to shop and earn this card kit. You need to spend more than $50 before tax and shipping and after any rewards that you are using. And I will send you a card kit for these 3 cards. And don't forget to join my new product launch party group because that is where I will be live next Thursday. And I don't want you to miss out because I have some fun projects with new products to share with you. Thank you for joining me this week, and I will see you next week. Bye.